Hello everyone, welcome back to another video.
Yeah, hello. So we're actually doing a brand new thing today. This is a podcast. I have done like a sort of podcast thing before on my channel, but it was terrible, and I'm redoing it. So this is going to be a brand new channel for me. Cameron, tell what you are doing currently.
I don't know where this is going at the current moment. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I know that I'm going to be contributing to Zach's podcast as well. And right now I'm going to be drawing while I'm doing so. So you on the podcast who can't see this, if you want to see me draw, which I don't know why you would.
You should.
Come
He's
on
really
over
cool.
to whatever channel. We'll put it on the screen right now.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to explain something before we start this podcast. I am watching two dogs currently, so if you hear, like, barking or running around or, like, whimpering, it's them. Don't worry about that. They're okay. So that might be a little bit of a minor inconvenience, but we're going to have to live with it because I have nowhere else to put them. So today I want to start, like, this podcast. It's going to be lots of different things that we're going to be doing, talking about. So I decided the name of it was going to be Anything Goes. That's the name of this podcast, which you'll know if you have read the title of the video. So in this one, I'm going to start with something that I actually started talking about in my last video on my main channel, Aloha Monster, which this video might actually go on both just to, like, kick this off. But my video like a week or two, like last week, was in defense of Infinity War. I was talking about the unpopular opinions, and I got a few, like, people asking me, like, wait, do you think that everyone should have the same opinion all the time? Like, why do you hate unpopular opinions? And that's not really what I meant. Like, I'm not saying that everyone has to agree all the time on everything. I'm just saying that you should have an actual reason for your unpopular opinions, and not just riding like some popularity trend, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna actually go to Instagram, which is where I found that, because I do think that there are some legitimate criticisms you can levy at Infinity War, but I don't think that the ones that I see that I responded to make any sense really whatsoever. But before we do that, Cameron, what are your thoughts on the actual Infinity War movie?
It was pretty good. That's it.
Great podcast.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I was a little angry.
At what?
Huh?
At what?
Just because of the ending, really.
Oh.
You know, it's just a little frustrating that you have to wait for, I wasn't expecting him to get all of the Infinity Stones. Oh, spoiler alert. We should probably edit that before I say that.
At this point, if they haven't seen it, they're not going to. So, yeah, I think a very similar thing. I think it's a really good movie. Now, do I think it's the best MCU movie? No. I think that Winter Soldier is better, and I think that Civil War is a little bit better. But I think that Infinity War is really good. So without further ado, let's get into that Instagram post. This is from an Instagram account called Unpopular Film Fan. Because he has some more posts that we might go over. But right now I'm going to start with the Infinity War one. Why I don't like Infinity War. Number 1, the plot is basic and lackluster, and the story does not do much to expand past the MacGuffin plot. Now, I did talk about MacGuffin plots in that video that I talked about earlier, but I just want to reiterate that MacGuffin plots are fine. The literal entire MCU is based off of MacGuffin. Like, as long as it's entertaining, MacGuffin plots don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter as long as, like, you understand that it's just, that's just how it is. Like, it doesn't, just because it's a MacGuffin plot doesn't mean it's a bad plot. That's just how it's built.
Yeah.
And then it says the plot is basic. Now, if you break down the movie, like to its most simple form, it kind of is basic. Because it's basically a story about just the Avengers trying to stop Thanos from getting all the Infinity Stones. That's really all the movie is. But it doesn't matter. Like, the plot doesn't have to be, because think about this. There are how many characters in the movie? Main characters? You got the original Avengers, you got the Guardians, you got Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange. Who am I forgetting? Is that it? Like, as main characters? But that's a lot of characters. Like, even the original Avengers movie is kind of a lot of characters, especially for the time. So, the story doesn't have to be that big. The story is mostly about the characters. Like, that's the point of the movie. It's to show where the characters are. It's not really, like, about the plot. And the lackluster based off the lackluster story part of this, I don't think it's a lackluster story, really. If you take everything into account, it's kind of incredible that we can even say the movie makes sense. Because, like, with how many different characters are in it and how many different things, CGI that they had to do, all, like, just the grand scope of it, to be able to say that it's a movie that makes sense is kind of incredible. So, I don't think it really needs that big of a plot. Like, it's not like a twist ending. It's not like, M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, it doesn't have to have a really convoluted plot. Number 2. The large number of main characters makes the movie hard to keep track of until the third act. Now, this is kind of like an opinion thing, because I guess, like, depending on the person. But if you actually pay attention to the movie, I don't think it's that hard to keep track of them. Because, like, they don't randomly cut. They have, like a structured plot. Like, it goes from Thor's ship, it follows Hulk to Earth, so it doesn't just randomly cut to Earth. Like, it follows a character there. It cuts in between, for a large part of the movie, it cuts in between Tony, and Spider-Man and Guardians with Doctor Strange and Captain America. Those are the two basic things, but they're not really that hard to keep track of, I don't think. If anything, I think the third act might be the hardest to keep track of, just because there's two different battles going on, and then Thor shows back up at Wakanda, so I think that might actually be the hardest part to keep track of. But I don't think it's really that hard. Like, they did a really good job with all those characters in it, because there are some movies that only have, like, 3 main characters, and I can't keep track of what's happening. Do you think it's that hard, Cameron?
Not really. I mean, there's a little confusion that can happen, but it's not too bad. Like, ever.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that bad. Okay, number 3. Any CGI in this movie that isn't Thanos is just hit or miss. Some just straight up looks bad. I don't... Well, that's kind of CGI for any movie, right? Hit or miss. That's kind of CGI for any movie that you've ever seen ever. And some just look straight up bad. I can see some shots that don't look particularly great, but keep this in mind. Do you know how much CGI is in that movie? I'll give you that. I think probably around 90% of that movie is CGI. So, in order... Like... I mean, I guess there are a few shots that don't look particularly great, but I think that it's kind of acceptable, because with all of that, like, there's 90, like, I probably easily 90% of the movie is CGI, because all of the, like, I don't know, it doesn't bother me as much as it did in, like, Justice League. That movie has really bad CGI, like Steppenwolf and the Flash running. It didn't look good at all. But I wouldn't say the CGI is too bad. I think there are some shots that could have used a little more work. But, like, I don't think it's that bad.
Before we move on to another topic, I've just kind of been sitting here not drawing, and I need to draw something. So, any ideas?
Draw Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
No.
Draw a potato chip being eaten by a dog.
Why are no anything else on topic?
Draw a podcast. Draw like a recording mic or something.
It's terrible. I mean, something that we're talking about.
Draw like a movie studio or something, or draw Instagram. We're talking about Instagram, kind of.
Are we going to be talking about any other issues in this podcast? I think we should go over a couple of things.
Oh yeah, we are.
Infinity War.
Yeah, I mean that's just the Infinity War is just the beginning. We'll talk about. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I think maybe because I had an idea. I was gonna just go through the feminism hashtag and see what see what's in there. That's an idea.
Instagram, I don't think like something maybe political.
Talk about draw Donald Trump. Talk about him for a little bit. Draw. I don't know. Draw something. I'm gonna look for what you're gonna draw. I'm gonna read the next point here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is number. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So this is the next point here up here. The emotional impact of the decimation is false. That's the snap at the end of the movie. Is false. As we know, as we all know that everyone that turned to dust will be back. That's not the point. The point of it is for the shock value. The audience knows that these characters are coming back. It's not supposed to be a secret. The characters don't know that they're gonna be back. Like when you get snapped, Tony isn't sitting there thinking, "Oh man, Spider-Man: Far From Home is gonna come out in a few months." Like he's not thinking that. It's about the characters. That's what this story is about. It's about the characters doing what they're doing. So like, it doesn't make any sense to say that it doesn't matter because they'll all be back, because that's like the point. I don't see why that's a bad thing. Like, they weren't just gonna kill off half their cast. Like, that would be stupid. That's all you got there? Just, yep. Great podcast partner.
Yep.
Okay, this is the next one. The two pillars that hold this movie up are the build up over the last 10 years and the hype it builds up for Endgame. Infinity War does not stand up with either of those two things. You have to be the dumbest person on the planet. Of course Infinity War is built off of the last 10 years of Marvel. That was the literal point of the movie. Did you, the Marvel logo was replaced with a Marvel with a 10 in it. Like, were you not paying attention? That's what this movie is. That's what they did. They intentionally did this. It wasn't like we don't have a good idea, so let's just, act like we have an original idea. They're going off the back of the last 10 years. That's what makes the MCU great. It's because the fact that you can watch 20-some movies in the same universe and have them all connect at the end, that's cool. Like, that is that's comic books. That is literal comic books. You're gonna say that the Infinity Gauntlet comic book doesn't hold on its own because it's built off the back of the rest of the Marvel comic books? No! That is the literal point of comic books. That's the closest to a visual comic book that we're ever going to get, because that is the point of it. What do you want? Do you want Justice League, where they just throw random characters in there with no introduction and then just have them fight a bad guy? No! That's what the MCU is building up to. Thanos has been in the MCU since the first Avengers movie, which came out in 2012. And the fact that it builds hype for Endgame, no duh? Like, what else was it gonna do? Like, that doesn't make any... Why is that a criticism of the movie? That doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Like, it builds up hype for Endgame. How? That wasn't hype. You're gonna say killing off half the main cast is building hype for the next movie? If anything, it makes you depressed to go see the next movie. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a good thing. I think that's what they wanted it to end on a cliffhanger. The original cut of Endgame, of Infinity War, it actually didn't end with the snap. It ended right before the snap. That would have been so much worse. To open up Endgame with the snap, that would have been terrible. Like, I don't think that would have worked. I think it was way better the way they did it in Infinity War. Got anything to say there?
Yep.
Wow.
I don't really think that it would have been bad if they snapped. I think the suspense would have been gone if they snapped at the beginning of.
Well, yeah, because then it would be like a 3-hour movie where they come back at the end. Like, that would be the most pointless thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how any of those hold up as, like, scrutiny of the movie. Okay, now I'm going to go through this guy's Instagram just to get a few more that we can talk about, and then I'll move on to a different topic. Let's see. What is this? This post says, Avengers Endgame would be the perfect place to close out the MCU if all the new characters hadn't been introduced in Civil War. You mean the two? They introduced 2 characters in Civil War. Spider-Man, who only had, like, maybe 5 minutes of screen time, and Black Panther, who the movie kind of centered around. That doesn't... I don't understand how that's how that makes sense for criticism. What, Cameron, do you think it would be... Would you want the MCU to end after Endgame?
No. Because then it's just no more movies, you know? So, I mean, you know, it's... The movies would end and the whole universe would be over. No, that wouldn't be good. It'd just be a waste, I think.
Yeah, it would be a waste of 10 years of movies just to have it end, like, with the vision that we saw in Age of Ultron. Okay, so moving on from that. That's all I wanted to read for that one. Okay, here's one of them. I don't care if the X-Men and the Fantastic Four will be back in the MCU. Back? They were never in it. I don't think you can say back in the MCU. I think you can say back at Marvel, but not the MCU. Disney buying Fox will kill a big amount of tonal diversity. This is not the first time that this guy has talked about tonal diversity in movies. Okay, this is the example I used earlier. So you're going to sit there and tell me that Spider-Man Homecoming has the same tone as Infinity War? Because if you do, I don't think you know what tone is. Like, the movie's tone, that doesn't... Okay, I get that the MCU has a pretty consistent tone overall. It's more lighthearted, like, generally. But that's not always true. Like, the tone of Ant-Man is not the same as the tone of Captain America the Winter Soldier. Like, I don't know. I kind of get what he's going with, but I don't think it... I don't know.
It's like more comedic.
Yeah. Okay, wait, let's read this one. I 100% understand the intention behind saying, I keep race or representation out of my Black Panther opinion, but that ignores the fact that both of those things are a factor for a lot of people. Everyone involved with this movie wanted to make it so a typically marginalized group of people in Hollywood got represented by this film. They definitely succeeded. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Basically, representation is at the core of Black Panther. People are seeing themselves represented for the first time as in the MCU, and that's something white people can't
stupid because that's false.
Understand in the MCU
Yeah.
as a lead. There hasn't been
a lead, yeah, but people are like, oh, there are no black superheroes. There are.
Well, yeah, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying as a lead for a movie. I don't know. I don't disagree with that one. Okay, so I'm done with that post. That one I don't disagree with too much. Aladdin looks way better than people give him credit for. I mean, I guess. I don't think it's finished is the thing. I'm not going to judge the way he looks in the trailer because, like, Thanos looked a little weird in the trailer, but like he looked fine in the movie. So,
People just overcomplain.
yeah, the top 5 MCU movies: Captain America: Winter Soldier. I'll agree with that. That's a really good movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. I think that I agree. Marvel's The Avengers. I have an unpopular opinion. I don't think The Avengers was that great. With the first one, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good, and at the time, I thought it was like amazing. But like, I don't know. I think it's a little boring. Like at the beginning of it, I think that Age of Ultron and Infinity War are better than the first one. What do you think?
Age of Ultron, I don't think was better than the first Avengers.
I don't know. It's just that
I don't think it was just because it's the original Avengers. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I think the opening. My real problem with the Avengers is the opening. I think it's kind of boring. Like, let's open up this giant superhero movie with a poorly edited car chase. That makes sense, right? I like the beginning of Age of Ultron better. Captain America: The First Avenger. No. I don't hate Captain America: The First Avenger, but at the same time, I don't love it. Like, I think both other Captain America movies are better than that one. So, I don't know. And the last one is Iron Man, which I don't know if I'd put that in the top 5, but I definitely think it's the best Iron Man movie. I got a new topic we can talk about, Cameron. You excited for the Shazam movie?
Not really. It's another superhero movie, but I feel like they might make him a little too childish.
Okay, I see where you're going with there.
I understand that he's supposed to be excited and all about being a superhero, but I feel like they might push it too far.
You mean like what they did with Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think, you know what I think it looks like? I think it looks a lot like the first Spider-Man movie, like with Tobey Maguire. I think it'll be a lot like that. I think it'll actually be pretty good. I don't think it'll be too bad. You know what I think I think it'll be the best DC movie that we've had so far. And then I think Wonder Woman 2 will top it. I think they're getting better. I think Justice League is probably their lowest point they're ever going to go. But I don't know if they have enough people to continue their universe the way that they wanted to. Like the MCU, if they have a bad movie or two, they're going to be surprised, but they're not just going to stop watching the MCU. But the DCEU, in my opinion, had 3 bad movies in a row, and some people say 2, because some people like Suicide Squad. But I didn't like Batman v Superman, I didn't like Suicide Squad, and I hated Justice League. Or actually, no, flip that. I thought I didn't like Justice League, but I hated Batman v Superman. But I don't I don't see how DC can continue what they're doing because Henry Cavill is gone. He's not Superman anymore. Ben Affleck is done as being Batman. The Flash movie still hasn't gotten off the ground yet. Ray Fisher, the guy who played Cyborg, is gone. All they have is Aquaman and Shazam and Wonder Woman, basically. So unless they're going to rebuild with that, I think they should just do, I know they're doing that Batman movie with, Matt Reeves as the director. I think they should do, different time periods. Don't connect it. Don't make a prequel. I don't want a prequel to the Ben Affleck Batman. I just want a new Batman. Just give me an alternate universe or something. I think that because that's what DC is about, right? With the Flash, with Earth 2 and all the different Earths and Flashpoint and all those things. Give us that because that's original. That's not copying Marvel. That's doing your own thing. I think people would way rather see that than a knockoff of the MCU. That's my opinion on that anyway.
Don't want clones of other movies that they've seen.
Just see Star Wars for that.
You might not want to say that.
Well, I actually liked...
Considering what I'm drawing right now.
Wait, what are you drawing? I don't even know what you're drawing.
Well, it's gonna be Mickey Mouse. With the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's awesome. Here's this one. In an industry that's oversaturated with films like those made by Disney/Marvel, it's refreshing to see something like Into the Spider-Verse win an award. I mean, I'll agree with that, but like, they do know that Into the Spider-Verse. What?
My mic keeps cutting in and out because the cord's not great.
Oh. Top 3 favorite comic book TV show seasons. The Flash season 1. It's got to be it. Daredevil season 3. I think season 1's better. I don't know. Season 3 felt like it's better than season 2, but Daredevil season 1. There it is. Daredevil season 2. Wow. I don't think season 2 was that great. Am I the only one that thinks that? Cameron? Am I the only one that thinks Daredevil season 2 isn't that great? Like, I think season 1's good.
I don't know that I've seen that.
I've seen season 1 is good and season 3 is good. I don't really like season 2. I think it's a little boring. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Maybe you're boring.
I am boring. You know why I made this podcast today? I didn't feel like doing my hair properly, so I didn't want to show my face. Black Panther is a better movie than Avengers Infinity War. No. Black Panther is overrated. I don't think it's
way overrated just because it's a movie about a racial character, a lead, you know.
Yeah, that's not why I think it's overrated because it's just kind of boring. I don't think it has like a...
He goes against his entire premise. He's like, you know, we got to give him a second chance, and then he kills him. He's like, we're not supposed to do that. We can't just leave them behind.
Wait, who kills who? What are you talking about?
T'Challa kills Killmonger.
No, he didn't. Killmonger killed himself.
Well, no.
I mean, kind of. I don't know. I think Black Panther's overrated just because it's boring. It doesn't have that good of a CGI, and I think Black Panther was better in Civil War than he was in his own movie.
Oh yeah,
I actually liked his character, and I don't think Chadwick Boseman cared in Black Panther. Like, he looked like he didn't want to be there for half of it. Oh, okay, here we go. We'll talk about Star Wars again. Kylo Ren is the most in-depth and developed villain in all of Star Wars canon. Is that an unpopular opinion? I think that's just a fact. Like, I don't know. I guess you could argue Anakin, but that's only, like, hindsight. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. You saying that he's the most in-depth villain in Star Wars?
In-depth and developed villain, yeah.
I don't know, because, like, we got, even though they kind of sucked, the prequels, we got those, you know.
You mean like Palpatine?
Yeah, we understood his background. We understood Anakin's background.
Yeah.
You know, we were really given that. We were shown that. And then, you know, we weren't actually shown that with Kylo Ren.
Well, I don't think we were supposed to yet.
Backstory, but it's not showing it to you, you know? It's showing him changing, but it also did that with the prequels. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I understand where you're coming from. I don't know. The X-Men movies as a whole...
This is not Mickey Mouse.
The X-Men movies as a whole are better than the MCU. The only reason people step on them is because they think Disney could do a better job with them. I mean, no. That's just kind of a lie. Like, the first 2 X-Men movies kind of suck. They're very...
This is really not Mickey Mouse.
Like, the first X-Men movie is boring, but I think it's allowed to be boring because it's like the first superhero movie since, they actually tried. But the second one could have been so much better, and it really wasn't. And the third one is Brett Ratner. I think Days of Future Past was really good. Don't even try with X-Men Origins. The Wolverine was fine. I didn't think it was that great. Apocalypse was meh.
Oh, no.
And Logan was awesome.
No, that's really not Mickey Mouse.
So I guess I'll agree that Logan is probably better than some of the MCU movies, but I don't know. As on a whole, the X-Men movies are kind of redundant. I don't think anyone cares. I think people would rather watch DC than X-Men.
It's not stupid, but I'm looking at a picture of Mickey Mouse, and that's kind of what he looks like.
Hot take. Hans Zimmer's score in Man of Steel is the best score in any superhero movie. No? I don't think so. I think the first Superman theme's better. I don't know. I think I'm done with this. Oh, wait, here we go. Zack Snyder's Justice League trilogy could have been the greatest comic book movie trilogy ever. No. Have you seen Zack Snyder, though? He didn't have a plan. He just wanted all dark movies with all bunch of... He thinks Batman is a killer. He should not be allowed to direct a Justice League movie if he's like, oh yeah, Batman, he's a killer. He doesn't know anything about comic books. He would not have been a good... What?
Nothing.
Alright, let's see. Is there anything else? The best part of running this account is that I get called both an MCU fanboy and a Snyder fanboy. That doesn't make any sense. I don't like that word. Captain Marvel is one of the best and most refreshing MCU movies. What? What? Okay, not only would I not call it the best, it's probably the most formulaic MCU movie I've ever seen. Is it bad? No. But that's only because Marvel doesn't... Their formula works, but it's not original. How is it name one thing about that movie that's original other than the fact that it has a female? And even that's not original. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The Skrulls?
That's not even original either, though, because no. Okay, first off, nothing about comic book movies are original. Hence why they're called comic book movies. They've been in comics before. These people aren't sitting down to write their own stories. They're mostly just taking things from the comic books and putting them in their own universe. It's not like they're coming up with a brand new original idea. Oh my god, what did I just do?
That's a good question. One that I should be asking.
Rey and Kylo Ren fighting Snoke guards is the single best fight in Star Wars.
It's not like anyone's going to see this anyway.
What do you think about that one? Do you remember that fight? Where Kylo Ren kills Snoke, and the guards start fighting them. Do you remember that scene? I think that was a really good fight. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Star Wars for a little bit? Get people all divided. I really liked The Last Jedi. I thought it was probably my second favorite Star Wars movie of all time. First off, I think the best scene by far is Mark Hamill's scene with Yoda.
Yeah.
That was
He just sticks his finger up and then the tree explodes.
Yeah, I cried. I was crying when that scene popped up.
Of laughter, though.
No, I loved Yoda. I was waiting for Yoda to show up. I love Yoda. The fact that they used the puppet Yoda and not the original, the prequel. Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's also the fact that his voice in the prequels just sucked. They took all the fun out of it. He had no personality. I really liked that
scene. They really took all the fun out of Yoda.
taking Spider-Man out of New
He
York.
took the fun out of old people.
Of old dead people. Also, wait, okay, as we're talking about Star Wars, I might as well say this. Mark Hamill needs to shut up. He said that he doesn't like the way that Luke was portrayed in that movie. What is that called? Star The Last Jedi. I would not imagine anything other than that. Like, that is exactly what I was imagining Luke would be as an adult. Either that or a Sith. So, like, I don't know. I don't think he was portrayed badly. I think that's exactly how I thought he would be portrayed.
What have I done?
Huh?
What have I done?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. I gotta see this.
What have I done?
What did you think about The Last Jedi?
What have I done? What have I done?
That looks like,
What have I done?
what's his name? Like from that video game? Edgy? Or Eggy? Or something like that? I can't remember. What did you think about The Last Jedi? Jesus.
It was good. It was good. Unlike this drawing.
What did you think about...
I'm scared for my life.
What did you think about the other film that they made? The Force of... Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one was pretty good, too.
I think that one's worse.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I like the Last Jedi better.
Yeah.
I still think that they didn't do a terrible job.
There's not a single good Thor movie. And I also think that Ragnarok is a terrible movie that destroys the MCU's character of Thor.
First off, have you seen Ragnarok?
First off, that movie is hilarious, and I think that was like the point.
Yeah.
Like, and secondly, it destroys the MCU's Thor. Again.
No, people like you destroy the MCU's Thor.
No. Again, that was literally the point. Tell me, do you ever watch the first Thor movie, or Avengers, or the second Avengers, or the second Thor movie, and go, you know who my favorite character is? The hunky guy that doesn't have a personality and that's really dull and boring. No, nobody said that. Nobody cared about Thor. Chris Hemsworth wanted to be funnier. He wanted to be... He is a comedian. He wanted to have a comedic role. And Thor in Thor Ragnarok, and since then, is a way better, not only character, but a better... Like, you can attach yourself more to him than, like, this Norse god. Because, like... Nobody cared about him. I think Ragnarok could quite possibly be the most game-changing MCU movie ever, because it completely changed that character. X-Men Days of Future Past is the best comic book movie of all time, and the X-Men franchise is better than the MCU and the DCEU. No. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the best comic book movie. I think it's one of the better ones. But I completely disagree with the second half of that sentence. The X-Men franchise is better than the MCU and DCU put together. That's just a lie. Uh-oh. Now what have you done? Everyone listening to my podcast, please go over and check out his video, because you need to see this drawing. It's hilarious. Oh my god! What is that? What have you done? Also, this guy's bio currently says the unpopular fan film Avenge the Fallen. So, you know.
Beautiful.
That's a thing. I hate everything that you stand for and everything that you are.
It's so good. It's so good.
Alright, so I think that's going to be the end of this podcast, actually. Yeah. The next podcast might be a little bit longer, and we're going to talk about more than one subject. But this one's just like an introduction to the podcast, so I just wanted to talk about, clear up some things about my other video that I actually have time to do now, because I didn't when I filmed that video. So... Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for us, or topics that you want us to cover in the next podcast, please comment down below. That will be out next Sunday. I'm gonna hope that this is an every Sunday thing, or maybe it'll be Monday and I'll film it Sunday. I'm not exactly sure yet, but Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys have any suggestions or you just liked listening to it, leave me a comment down below or a like. Go check out Cameron's channel and that video that his will be up probably later than mine because he has to edit it. But yeah, go check out that video because his drawing is hilarious. Cameron, do you have anything to say for the ending here?
Not really.
Wow. Why did I do the podcast with you? You didn't talk.
Like, that was your opinion, choice.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sign off here. So thank you guys so much for listening. Go check out my go subscribe to my podcast channel if you're not already there, and subscribe to my Aloha Monster channel for more content. And I will see you all. I'll see you all in the next episode. Signing out. Goodbye.
Bye.